We begin at 6 this morning with two stories that just broke in the last hour. An officer-involved shooting in Aurora and a fire at a senior living facility in Lakewood.
And we will get to the scene of the shooting in Aurora in just a moment. We do want to start with Christian Lopez, who's at the fire in Lakewood. And we know, Christian, at least one person was injured.
We do know someone was injured, and we are working to find out the extent of their injuries. Now let me show you what is going on here. We are at the Brookdale Senior Living Facility. You can see all of the emergency responders that are out here responding to this fire. We know that it happened on the third floor of the senior living facility, and the residents were evacuated. They have this whole street blocked off as well. I'm seeing cars that are being turned away as they try to enter here. They are blocking off this whole area. An official on the scene also told me that the fire is still a little active. They're working to put out hotspots right now. But we just got here a little while ago, and we are still working to gather more information, and we're going to bring that to you as soon as possible. We are live in Lakewood this morning. I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
You, Christian, obviously a lot going on there, and we have more breaking news this morning. Aurora police are investigating an officer-involved shooting on North Idalia Court. We do know no officers were hurt, so good news there, but we are still working to learn the suspect's condition, and there was still a large police presence there last time we checked. We do have a crew on the way to the scene to gather more information.
Well, it is going to be a snowy start to your weekend. Take a look at Futurecast right now. It's a Denver 7 weather action day as the metro is seeing this cold front moving in, and we could see several inches of snow later today.
Yeah, in and out though, a fast moving storm here. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo joins us with the timing of the flakes we could see, Lisa.
Yeah, you're right, and you're feeling the front right now. As it races through, those winds have shifted coming in out of the north, anywhere from 20 to about 40 miles per hour. So cold air starting to sink south. We have some neighborhoods right now still in the 40s. It's going to get colder here within the next couple of hours. In fact, right now, Lakewood at 40, Arvada, though, now 28. So we've already seen in some of those neighborhoods that colder air sink through. Parker, Castle Rock, both in the low 40s right now. Here within the next 15 to 30 minutes, you're going to drop back down to near freezing. Here's a look at the alerts. Now, we do have a winter weather advisory going into effect at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The brunt of the snow is going to fall right before and during the evening commute, and then it's going to push farther south. And we're likely going to see some of those heavier snow totals later tonight down south as the storm moves from north to south. But it is going to make it looks like for a messy commute for the metro area. Totals are going to be right around 1 to 3 inches in Denver, a little bit heavier, 2 to 4 as you get on the west side of town and closer to the foothills. And Jason, we've got a pretty good looking bullseye there right in through parts of Jefferson and Boulder counties for about 3 to 6 inches of snow by this evening.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some restrictions on I-70 later on this evening. And right now, I-70 here by El Rancho Evergreen Parkway, it doesn't look too bad, but the camera's bouncing around a little bit. You can see that. So I've seen some of the trees moving around pretty good through here. And we do have a high wind restriction. Take a look now on the map. Is out to the west side of town. We do have a high wind restriction basically between Kenosha Pass all the way down to Antero Junction at the junction of Highway 24 and 285. Now, I just heard from somebody in Fairplay who said that it doesn't seem that bad, but there is a high wind restriction for vehicles with some size that could be blown around, especially empty or light trailers. The rest of the drive here looks just fine. No problems weather-wise right now as we're waiting for that weather to really affect the drive late this afternoon and this evening. But right now, the drive looks fantastic anywhere you want to go.
Well, today will be the last day masks are required in Jefferson County Public Schools. The district said their mask mandate will expire at midnight, which is a week earlier than planned. The district said masks are still highly encouraged, though, and it brings the school district in line with the end of the county's mask order. Federal law still requires masks be worn on school buses. Poudre and the Thompson Valley school districts in northern Colorado are also ending their mask mandates today. Meanwhile, President Biden is backing up the CDC, and it still recommends people wear masks in indoor public spaces if they live in areas with high transmission rates of the virus. Right now, only 8 states still require masks inside public spaces. And the U.S. is ready to roll out millions of COVID vaccines for kids under 5 years old. The FDA Vaccine Advisory Committee will meet next week to go over the trial data and to make a recommendation on whether Pfizer's vaccine should be authorized for that young age group. If the FDA greenlights it, the CDC would have to weigh in and make its recommendation. The first shipments of the vaccine, though, could arrive at doctors' offices and pharmacies in as little as 10 days.
We're learning more about the resignation of a high-level Douglas County Schools official. Special Education Services Officer Sid Rundle resigned Saturday, just hours after the school board voted to fire Superintendent Corey Wise. Denver 7 obtained Rundle's resignation letter. He calls out the board members who voted to fire Wise, writing, "Despite their propaganda, they do not value loyalty, decency, humility, or integrity. Instead, they showed themselves to be firmly yoked to political influence, arrogant ideology, and a disdain for due process." Denver 7 contacted Rundle, but he declined to comment while he is still employed by the district. His last day is a week from today. Governor Jared Polis is hoping a new plan will lower crime across our state. He's backing a 5-bill package focusing not only on preventing crime, but getting to the root of the problem. During a press conference Thursday, the governor talked about his vision to make communities safer. Some of the ideas include more funding for a co-responder model, which means law enforcement officers and mental health professionals would team up to respond to certain emergencies. The plan includes more money to hire and retain law enforcement officers and more money for mental health services. In total, it would cost around $113 million over 2 years. The plan does have the support of some local sheriffs, but several police unions have said they want to see lawmakers do more to advance policy changes, and some critics called this a campaign pitch, not a legislative priority.
The NFL is reportedly trying to get another billionaire to bid on the Broncos. The New York Post reports the league is trying to appeal to Robert F. Smith to purchase the team. He's the country's richest black man and a Denver native, although so far he hasn't shown any signs that he plans to make a bid on the team. The LA Times reports billionaire businessman Alec Gores is part of a group bidding on the team, and media mogul Byron Allen also confirmed he's leading a different group for a bid.
I'm learning who all the billionaires are while we're doing these
yes,
stories.
That's a prerequisite, yes.
Well, we are just 2 days now away from Super Bowl 56.
Of course, Broncos country's closest connection to the Super Bowl this year is beloved linebacker Von Miller. Sunday will be his second Super Bowl in the last 6 years. It was MVP of Super Bowl 50 with the Broncos. And yesterday he spoke about the culture change going from Vic Fangio's Broncos to the Rams.
It was so great to be a part of this culture. You know, this culture is different. You know, Denver is different. Denver is more business and more serious, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can win with that, you know. But coming here where it's laxed and, you know, the culture is different and it's all about having fun and listening to music and practice, you know, it definitely didn't suck coming here. And they welcomed me with open arms, and, you know, it was a true blessing to be a part of the Rams organization for sure.
What a different,
so interesting.
Different attitude. He was obviously in tears when he was leaving Denver. The Broncos culture, though, is expected to change now that Nathaniel Hackett is the head coach. He drops a lot of pop culture references and
seems like it'll be fun.
Seems to have be a player's coach, yeah.
All right, well, if you're not a football fan, you might still be excited for the Super Bowl halftime show. It's a star-studded lineup. Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, and Mary J. Blige will join forces on stage at SoFi Stadium. At their press conference yesterday, Dr. Dre said it's been a long time coming for hip-hop at halftime.
Hip-hop is the biggest music, the biggest genre of music on the planet right now. So it's crazy that it took all of this and all of this time for us to be recognized, you know? So I think we're going to go on and do a fantastic show, and we're going to do it so big that they can't deny us anymore in the future.
Now, Snoop Dogg added that performing at this Super Bowl in his home state is a dream come true. He's looking forward to sharing the stage with the music legends who are also his friends. And we want to get you caught up on a couple of breaking stories we're following this morning. On the left, you see the scene where Aurora police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. It's on North Idalia Street, or Court rather. We know officers were not hurt. We're still working to get information on the suspect and what led up to the shooting. Our crew on scene there says there is a large police presence, and we'll get out to a live report in just a moment. And
then on the right side of your screen, you can see where firefighters are on scene there. They say a fire broke out at a Lakewood senior living center. Some good news, though. The person taken to the hospital who was injured will pull through. Officials are putting out hot spots still there. We are staying on the scene to bring you updates throughout the morning. Lisa, let's get a check of a cold front coming through.
Yeah, it's a Denver 7 weather action day. We're tracking snow for the afternoon drive. So as your kids are heading out the door this morning, temperatures are right around freezing. Winds have kicked up, though. It's going to be a pretty chilly start to the day. We'll briefly see some upper 30s by midday. Back down to near freezing this afternoon by the time they get home with snow developing. I'll show you how much we're expecting by midnight tonight, coming up in just a few minutes.
And right now, the major roadways still look pretty nice. The weather is not a problem for our morning drive, and you can see across downtown Denver, right by Mile High Stadium, the northbound side, southbound side, moving along fairly well. Starting to get a little bit more congestion out there, but speed still in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and even 70s.
New report on life expectancy is out this morning, where Colorado ranks and which state is living longer than us.
Plus, we're learning how many hundreds of jobs Frontier and Spirit Airlines merger could bring to Colorado or Florida, depending on where they decide to set up shop.